I'm gonna see what else I can find for stocks. I'm gonna be looking for some stocks to trade as opposed to just the SPY and the Qs right now. Neither one of those are actually in a position right now where I could take an entry in them. Too far extended. So um, I'm going to look for stocks. Watching MDT. MDT, nice, very strong stock today. Moved up, pulled back a little bit. Is trying to regain this move here above the VWAP. Pretty nice little candle right there. Daily chart's pretty good. It has a resistance at 101.39. It went slightly above that this morning, but it's a nice setup on MDT for an intraday trade. I would be waiting for a pullback to like the VWAP and then a bounce.
NVIDIA, Microsoft are committing to invest in Anthropic's next fundraising round.
MDT moving up pretty nicely here. Yeah, it's a nice daily chart on MDT. Here's the 5-minute chart right here, moving up, and you can see that what it looks like here on the SPY super system, moving up beautifully, breaking above the VWAP here. It seems a little extended, but it looks pretty nice. And the daily chart, MDT, again 101.39. It just went through it, 101.39. Again, not something you'd want to swing because it's too far extended. But for an intraday trade, it's a pretty nice setup. And it looks pretty bullish. Still got to get through, stay above that 601.39. I'm sorry, 101.39. Again, nice little move in MDT right there.
Did you say Cloud Source was down this morning?
Yeah.
That's why some of the programs.
Tons of things were down, yeah.
Yeah.
It's all up now.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah, that's my news feed was down, Pete's
Yeah.
Room was down, X was down, OpenAI was down. A lot of big ones were down.
Big ones, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Terry couldn't get into Rippling this morning, and I was wondering if that might be the.
Probably, it should have come up and said, you know, it tells you that you can't get into a site, it'll say Cloudflare with an X next to it.
Cloudflare?
Cloudflare, yeah.
F-A-R-E?
Yeah, Cloudflare. It's a infrastructure security program.
Yeah.
Nice move in MDT here. Never really pulled back to get in. This was a nice entry, but kind of moved away pretty quickly. So got to look for some other ones. You're on the earnings call for MDT. The results beat everything big time. Thank you, Ari. Yeah, I've just looked at the technical setup on it. It's very beautiful technical setup. Again, daily chart looks really nice, and but this was a decent long right here. Again, as it come back down and bounced again, notice it bounced above the 8. See the 8 crossing the 15 right here. See how it goes to current time frame momentum goes to selling to buying. The institutions are coming in. It's buying. The 8's breaking up through the 15 right here, and you get right through the VWAP. So you could if you could have got into that candle, that's pretty good. Again, it's a pretty nice move up. The options moved up pretty quickly. The spreads were fairly wide on them. I was messing around with out of the money calls on some of these things. This is one of the strategies I'm trying to work on. So I'll let you know how it's worked. I did use it there for MDT, and it worked pretty good. Making about 25% on the calls. But in the money calls would have worked really beautifully. But the problem is they were spread pretty wide. The 90 dynes were 215 by 350, which was a lot. But the 100s were 233 by 255, which wasn't too bad. Okay, I'm going to look for some other ones. Again, I had a good day on the SPY so far. I'm not touching it here. Notice it's right back to the 8 right here, with the 15 down here. It's a separation of the 8 and 15 is, decent size right now. A lot of support right down in here. But I'm looking for some stocks at this point. Gilead pretty good, Ari. Whoops. Dropped back a bit, but now headed up again. Gilead, thank you. Yeah, pull back right to the 8. Pretty nice chart on Gilead. Pretty nice chart for a long. I mean, this is. It's been. Listen, it's not a smooth chart, but it's been moving up. This is a bullish move. You can see right here. I mean, if I draw lines here, algo type lines, you're going to be able to see the move up here right there. So that's an algo line right to the upside to that, and it's moving up pretty nicely. This one I don't really need anymore. Delete that. This also is not really effective anymore. Delete that. But yeah, nice move in Gilead. This line right here has to be changed. This was the level it was in. This becomes, this becomes a ascending algo line right here, which has gone through, and it's gotten through today. So that's a nice setup on Gilead. SPY coming back down now. Again, MDT was a nice quick trade. Okay, let's look for some more.
WR Arrowhead Pharmaceuticals announces FDA approval of Redemplo to reduce triglycerides in adults with familial chylomicronemia syndrome.
This the news feed just talking about the ARWR that Ari had mentioned getting approved. Still halted, however. Again, that was the last candle right there. Was 11:05. It's been halted since then. SPY pulling back down now. MDT again. This is a day we've got to really be nimble to get in and out of these trades. The market itself on the daily chart. Let's look at the SPY on the daily chart again. Let's keep in mind what we're seeing here. All right. So here's a SPY. This is back there. We were having a nice move up here this spring, and then we had this discussion of the 100% tariffs on China. Never took place, of course, but it scared the heck out of the market. These are the algos, and then we started bouncing sideways, and then we moved up beautifully right here to a new all-time high. But we did it through a gap. Very hard to trade that, and then we just been chopping around. Now we're coming down, and we're coming down pretty hard here. A big red candle here, a big red candle here through the VWAP. Through the 50, right to the algo line, and then a bounce. Then we recovered beautifully from here, boom, boom, right to there. Again, I took some calls overnight on that because of this move, but now this moving up, and now we've come down. This is a big red candle here. Another one through the 50-day. We bounced above the 50-day. Yesterday we closed that below the 50-day, right to the VWAP, and today we gapped down below the VWAP. The algo line, and come down through a couple of support levels, and now it's bouncing back up. This is a hammer here. It's kind of a doji, but it's a doji hammer right now. So again, this is telling you that the market's trying to put in a bottom, but is it going to last? The problem is the 100-day moving is down here, 100-day moving average. Once you break through the 50-day moving average multiple times, the market usually goes at some point fairly quickly. It goes to the next major moving average, which is 100 right here. So I'd be very leery of doing any long swings at the moment. I'm just intraday trading right now. That's it. Again, I'm out of the MDT. That was just a test for the. Look, it was a nice setup, but I was testing some out of the money calls on those things, and I just took, I think, 25% on those. I'll be relating that if it works. I'll let everybody know about it. But right now it's too soon. I remember when I was testing out straddles and strangles. They work pretty good. Now I've got them fairly well defined. I think I did a video on them too, as a matter of fact. All right, let's see if we have any questions. It's about 3 minutes to 12. It looks like we got a few questions here. PDD still weak on volume. Yeah, it is, Bob. Arthur, Saudi prince just entered the White House for talks. Could be a reversal up to the impetus on SPY. I seriously doubt if it's going to have any impact on the market. If they make a deal to buy jets or something, it'll help some of the manufacturers, but it's not going to jump the market up. I don't think.
Microsoft, including an integration with Microsoft Agent 365.
Yeah, but they're going to be taking questions in the Oval Office. Always moves the market likely at noon. Yeah, I mean, you're going to get some market moves out of that. Thoughts on NXT for a trade, Sacklin? NXT for a day trade? Yeah, it's coming off a pretty deep low here. The daily chart is crummy, obviously. The 5-minute chart is okay. You see this pullback nice move up here. Again, you're just following the 8 here. How far can it go? Well, you get a little bit of resistance right up the top of this candle and the 8 and the 15 right there. So you get a little bit of room to the upside. I mean, it's up to you whether you want to trade something like that. You want to make sure your entry is good on NXT. In other words, make sure you're not chasing it. When it goes back to the VWAP, the 8, you can probably trade it right here. But again, it's stacked an awful lot of green candles here in a row. So try to get in right at the 8. I mean, you could try it right here if you wanted to. You do have some room on it to the upside. You've got some room. I would say that you've got room to the high of yesterday's candle, 94.45. Teva looks like a swing long, Mayak. Teva. Yeah, it's a PBO on Teva, Mayak. Again, that's a cannabis stock. ARWL will start trading at 12:15. Ari, thank you very much. That's the one that's been halted. For anybody who's interested in that just got approved. We'll see what the reaction is when they open it at 12:15. Shai, I see a question there about the out of the monies. I'll tell you when. I'll tell you in Teams what I'm doing with that. What I'm waiting on. I mean, it's. I know. I see what you're saying there. You're using it. You use it on stuff like Tesla. Yeah, and you can do that. You can do that on stocks that move a lot, but on these, that's not necessarily the case. And I'll kind of show you what I'm just really developing this, so it's going to take a little bit. Appreciate that. Thanks. Hey, Sacklin. You're welcome. Teva is an Israeli farmer, not a cannabis stock. Okay, thank you, Shai. I thought it was cannabis, but I'm wrong. Shai's over there in Israel, so he knows about Teva. Pretty nice bullish stock too right now. It does have some resistance above, but it's doing a PBO right now. And there's an NXT, which is an interesting one. Teva's great. It makes many generics. Thank you very much. Ari knows about Teva as well. All right.
CEOUR Coursera partners with Anthropic and launches new AI content to drive responsible AI innovation and workforce transformation at scale.
Yeah, look at that NXT, by the way. The NXT options are really tough. The $5 spreads expiring on the 21st this week. And $90 calls right now at 420 by 460 with 233 of intrinsic, not bad. But if you go to the 85s, they're 590 by 840. Very big spreads, very little volume in there, very little volume. So it makes it very tough to trade. Unless you buy the stock. You know, if the MDT that I traded at, those have got. I mean, if I look at the options on MDT, I'm looking at, you know, volume of, you know, 2,000, 1,500, 1,500, a lot of different strikes with a lot of big volume and a fairly tight spread on it. IBB still looks good, Maxim? Yeah, IBB still looks good. I'm still in IBB. It's moving up today. It's up about a little over $1 today in IBB. Okay, let's see if we have some more questions here.
I'm going to run errands.
Okay.
I'm going to make a drop to Ally.
Okay.
Return her stuff to. See, this is
Did you have some lunch, Ruth?
not yet.
No? No? Look at Alfie. You gotta say goodbye to Alfie.
Bye, Cal. I'm surprised he didn't go into the bedroom.
Yeah, me too. All right, let me jump over here. Good morning, Sam. Good morning. From YouTube folks.
Okay, I'll be back. I got plenty other things to do.
Okay, be careful.
I will, yeah.
Okay, good morning, Sam. Again, just kind of watching the market here. IBB looking pretty nice today. It's been kind of chopping around, but it's moving up nicely this morning. And MDT was a pretty nice long. It's still a nice setup, but I just took it for a quick intraday trade. I took PDD as a short this morning, and I had SPY Super System for a long, which was a nice long. That was about $60 a contract profit. So see what the market's doing right here. Again, it moved up. It's pulling back right now. Again, down below the 8 and below the 15, and coming back toward the VWAP. You have to be quick on these trades today. This is a treacherous trading environment. How does the SPY look on the SPY Super System? Right here. This is what it looks like. We got the momentum coming in right here. We've got the volume trend down. It's coming back down below the 8, so you certainly don't want to go long here, but you can't go short yet. See, we got the VWAP right here. Get the 15 right here. So this is just watch. I'm just looking for individual stocks right now. A lot of choppiness. Again, just very, very choppy flat here right now. No direction. That's why I'm looking for some stocks to trade here. It's about 12:15, 12:13 right now. Microsoft also is setting up as a short here. There's a daily chart on Microsoft. Broke down through the support level right there. Pretty weak here. Yeah, it's got a little bit of room to the downside on Microsoft. Breaking down through the 8 right here. Notice how the 8 is breaking down through the 15. And we've got to pop out of the box, and it's red right here. Decent setup on Microsoft. If this comes back up to the 8 and then moves back down again, I would be tempted to take some puts in Microsoft here as an intraday trade only. ARQT looking good, Ari. It's one we've talked about before. Yeah, breaking out here in ARQT. Very nice. ARWR is open, by the way. Gapped up about 4%. Watching Microsoft. Market internals really kind of chopping around here. Not really giving us much of a trend. Notice on the SPY, on Microsoft, you notice the 8 is crossing down below the 15 right now. Premiums and option on Microsoft very, very high, very, very high. I took some Microsoft puts expiring for this week. Harry says, away we go. You talking about ARWR, I imagine? I don't know. Yep, there it goes. It's shooting up right now, up 7%, taking off. Yep, ripping up. Yep, I watched it take off. ARWR. After the announcement, it was halted for a good long time, and there's the move on it right there. Again, I'm not touching that one, but I am touching Microsoft short right here. I'm short Microsoft as an intraday, just a quick intraday SPY super system trade. 8 crossing below the 15. Momentum going down. Trading it right off of the 8 here. We'll see how much I can get out of it. They're expensive. I took some in the money calls, in the money puts on this thing. I took the, what I take? $500 puts. $500 puts. I paid $1,362. They're pretty expensive. I'm just going to try to squeeze a buck out of it. We'll see if it gets there. Definitely bearish. Definitely bearish on the daily chart. Again, it's got support down about 463. I'm sorry, 482. About 482. About $7 to the downside on support. So we'll see where it goes. Okay, I'm short Microsoft. Let's see what the SPY is doing, so we can see what the indexes are doing. SPY's holding the VWAP here right now. So for Microsoft trade, we'd prefer to see the SPY coming in, but the Microsoft has got relative weakness right now to the market. So we'll see what happens. But SPY is bouncing. Triple Q's also bouncing here, right off the VWAP. So I've got to be very cautious with my Microsoft trade here. SPY bouncing up. That was the 8, tried to crash to the 15, didn't quite make it, and now it's bouncing right off the VWAP here. Very important level of VWAP. Microsoft a good long way from the VWAP, and I don't need much. I just need a little bit of a flush on this thing to take profits on it. Is Microsoft coming down? Again, I got in at 1362. Is trading at 1410 right now. I got a 1472 sell order. I don't know why I had 14. It should be 1462, but in any case, I got a 1472 sell order, and I'm just going to watch it. See how far it goes down. Low on the day of. By the way, the low on the day on Microsoft is 486.78. 486.78. So almost $3 to the downside. So, Ari, VNDA looking good. Thank you very much. Yeah, nice move in Venda. Right to resistance at 530. Right to resistance at 530. There it is right there. Right to resistance at 530. Fill the gap. Yeah, I'm still in Microsoft short here. You get in again 1362 for the $500 puts expiring Friday. They're at 1418 right now. And again, I got a 1472. Might change to 1462. Just looking for $100 a contract on this.
China's Premier Li tells Putin China is determined to cooperate with Russia.
Again, watching Microsoft and watching the market. The market is important. Oops. You see the spies. It moved above the VWAP briefly. Right here. See that hammer? Inverted hammer. Went through the right through the 8 and the 15. Now the 8's crossing down through the 15. And the SPY is right at the VWAP. The failure here on the SPY to the downside would be a SPY super system entry for the SPY. Again, I'm in Microsoft right now, so I'm just watching that as it bounces just a bit. See if we have any questions over in the YouTube area. Hey Sam, too fast for you today? While I'm working, yeah, your day job. Followed your SPY strangle yesterday and got a dollar contract. Good job. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, this is a very fast market this morning. This is not for the faint of heart, and this is not for folks who want to try to stay in trades and milk them for a while. There just isn't much. You can't really do that right now. Too quick. It's very, very fast market. Not maintaining much direction for very long. WSC, nice day trade short. Rajul, thank you. WSC. Yeah, it's definitely a nice short. Definitely a nice short on the daily chart too. Yeah. Coming down 6% today. Nice short here. Again, you want to try to obviously you want to try to catch it at the 8. You don't really want to chase it down. You kind of want to wait for it to bounce and then try to catch it. Right here would have been a beautiful entry. Even here was a pretty good entry. This is not a big moving stock, by the way. It's down $1 today, which is a lot for that stock. It has like $1.22 ATR. But definitely a nice short. Nice look on that one. Options are not very liquid. I would imagine not. Again, I'm still in Microsoft. Nice look on the setup on that one, though, Rajul. That's pretty nice. You can short the stock. Microsoft pulling down here. Let's see how close I am to getting filled. Yeah, I got it in 1362. Right now it's at 1468. It's probably going to take me out here in just a second. I'm going to try to move it up a little bit more, but I don't know if I'm going to have time. Okay, I'm out of Microsoft. Took profits in it. $110 a contract on Microsoft. That was pretty nice. I'll take that. It could keep going down, but again, I'm just basically just hitting and running here today on these because there's too much. You see what it did here? See what it did right back up again. So I'm out of Microsoft. That was a nice trade in Microsoft. All right, so I'm out of Microsoft, took profits in that. Happy with that profit. I had profits in PDD. I had profits in SPY today. I had profits in MDT today. And I had profits in Meta today. These are a lot of really quick trades. For me, I'd much rather do longer term trades, but this market's just not giving me that opportunity right now. And I'm trying to keep everybody on the right side of the market and the right side of not taking too many trades. I mean, it's really important when the market's doing this that you don't get sucked in too much for long trades. The market internals, by the way, are coming in very, very hard right now. Very hard. We're looks like we're going down. Again, I suspect the 100-day moving average is where we're going to end up eventually here. You're welcome, Doug. Their current SPY super system doing pretty well. Yeah, the SPY super system is an excellent system. But you've got to understand it. You've got to make sure you have context of what the market's doing. You got to be willing to take quick profits if you can, and you've got to be getting in at support and resistance levels. You can't be like I can't take a SPY trade here. It's too far away from here. If I have to hold this while it goes all the way back up here to the 8 and 15 and the VWAP, I'm going to lose too much money on that. That's a lot of money, right? This is where I want to be in right here. So I'll just wait for that. And again, I'm also just looking for stocks to trade. Up over $1 profit now. Very nice. Never done that before. Good job, Doug. Very excellent job. Excellent. Yeah, that's a nice trade. Very nice trade. You can put a trailing stop on it if you want. You could just set a profit target. Just don't let it bleed away, because it can easily right now in this market. You can see what the SPY's done here. See this nice pullback here. Boom, right back up again. These are pretty violent moves. All right. About 12:30. I'm gonna have lunch pretty soon. For such a crappy day in the market, it's actually been For me, it's been pretty good day. I haven't had a losing trade yet, and but the market is coming down. I have to kind of keep an eye on Halliburton. It's down. It's below the 8 and the 15 right now, so I have to watch to see where that sets up. I might have to switch this to a short position, but we'll see. I haven't decided on that yet. Lyft is still holding the 50-day moving average, so as long as that holds, I'm okay. Here's a little bit of a bounce of the SPY again. This is what you got to be cautious with. This is a nice flush. If you're on this, if you're in it on this candlestick, you made good money. Will it keep going? It could easily keep going down, but it also can bounce here. So SPY is still a good distance away from the 654.30. 654.30 is the next support level on the SPY. SPY a little bounce there. Again, this is why it's so tough to trade today. It's very difficult. You know, the market's bearish, but there's a lot of bounces. I'm out of Microsoft. I took profits in that. I took profits in Meta today. I took profits in PDD short this morning. MDT, I took profits long earlier. It's the setup. Where the setup occurs is the most critical thing. There's IBB trying to bounce up as well. It's really important that you're getting into near support, near resistance. Too many people overlook that, and they enter trades where they shouldn't be entering trades. Repeat where I like the SPY entry, please. On the SPY, let me look. On this candle right here, anywhere near the top of this candle. Or here, you could have taken it right here as well. See the red? You could have taken it as it broke below the VWAP right here as an anticipatory trade, and the 8 breaking through the 15. Anywhere on this candle was fine, or right at the beginning of this candle. That would be the move you got right here. And obviously you see what happened now. It's all retraced all of it. That's why you've got to be really quick on these things. And why I can't call them out like that. I mean, you have to learn this strategy yourself. If you're going to trade intraday trades, especially on the SPY, the Qs, or the futures, you've got to learn this, and you've got to learn to be able to get in at support and resistance levels. And you got to do that on all the stocks as well, but the stocks are a little bit more forgiving than the SPY is. Microsoft, you know, it had good relative weakness against the SPY, so I could use that. And the stocks I can stay in the trades a little bit without so much so much trepidation as you can with the SPY, because the SPY can move around a lot, and those premiums can fly, and you know, all your profits can be they can be washed away in just one candle. So again, I have a strategy. I have a video on this. You can learn it to do it for stocks. I like to use it for stocks and for the SPY and the Qs. But you're on your own on these things. I mean, I can point out the setups, but you've got to, you're clicking the mouse. You've got to be able to get in, get out. You're the one that has to manage your risk on these things. I'm just trying to share this strategy with you because it's an outstanding strategy for intraday trades. You're going to stop and have lunch in just a bit. Here's the SPY bouncing right back up through the VWAP again. I mean, this is some pretty two-way action here on the market. You can make money on the upside. You can make money on the downside. You just got to be really, really quick.
Saudi Crown Prince commends Trump's efforts on global peace and announces that Saudi Arabia will raise its investment in the U.S. to $1 trillion. Saudi Crown Prince will increase investment in U.S. to $1 trillion.
Saudi Crown Prince says he's going to increase his investments in the United States to $1 trillion. This is the kind of stuff we get. Again, it's gonna pop the market a little bit. Be careful here. Be careful.
On CAT, Trump says Caterpillar has been incredible. Trump says working on approving advanced chips for Saudi.
So SPY getting a little bounce out of the press conference here with the Saudis, more investment. We'll see how long this lasts. Again, I'm not gonna. This is a decent entry. I'm not gonna jump on this thing right here. I'm just gonna watch. I don't really have anything on right now, except the trades that we have, Halliburton, Lyft, and I do have IBB on as a swing type trade. So there goes the SPY. We'll see how far it goes. Again, the SPY is still down 0.5% for the day.
U.S. Secretary of State Rubio, we may have an announcement on chip export licenses today. wins FTC antitrust trial over Instagram WhatsApp deals.
All right, this looks like a good time. I'm going to take some lunch. I'm not going to jump into anything right now. Nice little bounce on the SPY off of the news conference about Saudi Arabia. Will it last? I doubt it. I think we're headed for the 100-day moving average sometime in the next week or two, but who knows? Again, I don't make predictions. I'm just trading what I see right now, and I am out of all my trades that I've taken for intraday trades today. Just Microsoft worked pretty good. PDD worked nice. MDT worked nicely. And I took a couple of SPY super system trades today. All worked really, really beautifully. But again, you have to be quick in these things. All right, see if you have any questions. Hey, Sacklin, thoughts on Arvin for a day trade? It seems to be a gap as well. Arvin, ARVN. It isn't a gap. Yeah, that's a nice look on Arvin. I don't know anything about the stock, but I technically I can see what you got. You look at the volume on this thing today. It's a biotech. Again, this is another one. The options are probably awful, but I don't know without looking at it. But here's your gap fill. Right there. Here's where it can go. And is it good for an intraday trade? Yeah, not bad. I mean, you can see the movement on this thing. Not moving an awful lot, but it's pretty good. Here's your market internals, by the way. See how they're shooting up? They're starting to come back down again a little bit now. But yeah, that's a nice setup right there. If you can pick it off the 8, and there's the 15 right there. But I kind of think that the options are going to be awful on it. I don't know. I'm going to look quickly. Yeah, very, very widespread. It's trading at 14.12. $14 calls are 40 by 65 cents. The stock doesn't move a lot. This Arvin doesn't move an awful lot. It has an ATR of about 94 cents. So it would be tough to find the options to trade on this thing. I mean, you could take the 13s. They have 115 by 130, which isn't bad. They got $112 of intrinsic value, so the 13s aren't bad if you want to take that. This was news today, Ari. Yeah, thank you. I figured it probably was. That's why there's such big volume on it. Again, big, huge volume on this stock today. But you could, if you like it, you can take the $13 calls, 115 by 130. You could easily make money on those because it's a pretty nice setup. That's actually for biotech. That's a pretty good option, right there. The $1.15 by $1.30 on the 130 calls. Nice look on that one. Very nice. Yeah, the options early, they on Arvin, they're not really rubbish for a biotech. These are actually some of these strikes. The 13 strike is not bad at all. 120 by 130 on the 13 strike with $1.04 of intrinsic value in it. It's pulling back right now, but it was about 12 a little while ago. But those are not bad. Most of the other ones are way too widespread. And you mean deep in the money on some of these things. I think probably the 113 is the way to go. The 114, 40 by 65 is too much. You only have 8 cents of intrinsic value. So I would use the 113s, the 13s, if you wanted to take the trade. Again, you can see what it's doing right here, right now. It's been moving up nicely. It's flattening out a little bit right here. It's in a gap. There's the SPY. Arvin's in a gap. With the gap fill on ARVN is, that's the low of that candle. $17.22. $17.22. So it's a pretty big gap fill if it moves. All right. Let me make check a couple more times of questions. I'm going to get something to eat here. So take a little break. Okay, gonna grab some lunch, everybody. I'll be back in just a little bit. Interesting day. So we're getting a little bit of a pop in the market here. Again, there's that Arvin. That's a decent setup on Arvin. SPY moving up here off of the Saudi conference, news conference, and we'll see how long it lasts. Again, the SPY is just down 0.3% right now. Putting in an interesting bar now. Let's see what we've got on the daily on the SPY. A hammer, just like here, another hammer. Right up to but the hammers are getting lower and lower here. These are not Maxwell silver hammers. These are hammers coming off of lows, but then moves up and then pulls right back again. But we keep putting in lower lows here. So, but again, that's a hammer. That's a fairly bullish temporary candlestick. All right. Now I can get some lunch. I'm done trading for the time being. WBD starting to move, new recent highs. Deadline for offers is Friday, okay? Yeah, I'm holding some January calls on WBD. They're moving up here. Yeah, WBD, those calls are going into profit here now. Harry, you can take some profit soon. You've got a lot of out of the money calls. Yeah, my calls are all out of the money. I get 25s on WBD. That's a pretty nice move here today. Not extraordinary volume, but pretty decent volume. Yes, it is very unusual for WBD to move that much. It's up 4.5% today. That's a lot. Okay, I'm going to get some lunch. We'll go ahead and shut down the YouTube feed. Thanks everybody from YouTube. I appreciate it. You're welcome, Sam, on the heads up. All right. We'll go ahead and shut that down. Thanks everybody from YouTube. I appreciate it. Again, you know where to, if you're interested in joining the room in the alert service or buying the software, just go to rightlinetrading.com and you can get it right there. Software is just excellent. This stuff is really excellent with that and the SPY super system that we've got for intraday trades on stock and futures. Excellent. And then, of course, for swing trades, it's outstanding. Swing trading right now is not recommended. This is very tough trading for swing trades. All right. Have a great one, YouTube folks. We'll see you back here tomorrow around 11:30. Have a good one.